Hi, I'm Alistair Cook. Welcome to another video where I explore some of the features and functionality of the Cohesity data platform. And today we're going to extend from looking at just protecting vSphere workloads, which all of my previous videos have been about, either vSphere or Office 365. But today I have a Nutanix environment here. One of my servers in the mobile lab is now running the Nutanix Community Edition, and we can see on there that I have just a bunch of virtual machines. So I have VMs 001 through 005 running and ready for us to use. One of the things I did need to do with my cluster when I set it up to back up was to come in here to the cluster details, and I had to set this iSCSI data services IP address. I couldn't add the cluster to my Cohesity environment without that. We'll just pop back into the home page on there, pop across to my Cohesity cluster, and if I want to protect something, I need to protect it as a source. So I'm going to register a new source. New source is a hypervisor host, and this is where by default I would just enter my vCenter server information. And if the Nutanix environment was using the vSphere hypervisor, then I just treat it like any other vSphere environment. This particular environment is not, so it's not running Hyper-V either. It is running the Nutanix Acropolis hypervisor. And so I specify the cluster IP address and my user ID and my password and register that the cluster is a source. Now that I have a source, I can come into a protection job. You can see that I've got 6 unprotected virtual machines in there. Pop into my protection job, and I can create a new protection job to protect a virtual server. So this is going to be my Nutanix protection job, which is going to protect my Acropolis standalone cluster called Lab. Discovered objects, I can see that I've got 6 virtual machines in there, the 5 deployed virtual machines plus my template virtual machine. I select all of them, and I'm going to turn on the auto protect as well, just in case I create some more virtual machines. I really like auto protect. Once that's been added, I need to set a protection policy. Let's go with a silver protection policy and storage on the default storage domain. So the same settings and values are available in here as I would have on any other protection job. Start that protection, and I have a Nutanix protection job here. It's running, and we can see that it's been running for a whole 4 seconds, and it's started. That's going to take a while. It's probably going to take half an hour to do the initial protection when it copies the whole lot across, so we'll come back and look at it in a few minutes. So now we have successful backup. All 6 virtual machines have been backed up. And how long did that protection run take to run? That was 34 minutes for the protection to run. Alright, well, I guess the first thing we should do is delete a virtual machine. Maybe, yeah, let's just do one and see how that behaves. Okay, go to the VM list. Take a virtual machine, let's just take this one and delete it. Yes, delete VM05 and all snapshots. Make it gone. Right, VM5 is all gone. So what we should then do is come back to our dashboard and be able to do a recover of a virtual machine. We're going to recover virtual machine 005, and there it is. VM005 standalone cluster. Continue. We're going to restore it from the only snapshot we have. We're not going to rename it. We're going to put it back in its original location, keep its original networking. We're going to power it on and finish. So away we go. Recovery is underway. Let's look at that. 4% complete. What do we see in Prism? Do we see a virtual machine yet? Not yet. If this was a vSphere recovery, the first thing we'd see is new data store and a virtual machine coming back. It looks like AHV doesn't mount the external data store from the Cohesity cluster, so we're not going to see a running virtual machine until this recovery completes. So let's give that a few minutes and see how long it takes to complete that recovery. Well, it turns out it only took 7 minutes for the recovery to complete. Pop back across into Prism, we can see our virtual machine machine 05 is back. If we open a console on him, we should be able to see that the operating system is now up and operational. So yep, back in service. Took a little while longer than if it was on a vSphere environment, but it did recover. Next thing we want to look at is file level restore. So in dashboard we can go for a recover of a file. Actually, let's make sure we've deleted a file first. So let's pop back in here and grab our virtual machine 01 and open a console on him. Maximize that up so we know what we're working with, and in here log in, and we've got some data that lives on C drive in the data folder, and let's just delete this Behringer mixer manual so we can do a search for XR18 to find him. Okay, so now he's now been deleted. If we pop back to our Cohesity dashboard, we can search for XR18. What we should find is that there are files. There we go, one file from the protection job Nutanix, Behringer XR18, that guy. Like to recover from the one backup that I have to server, specify some credentials, so that's going to be lab/administrator, password. Files from this source may only be downloaded, so I can't actually recover back into place. It's kind of a shame. But if I'm going to download, I probably want to do that recovery from inside the actual virtual machine. So let's pop back inside the virtual machine where I want to do the restore, and we'll open up our Cohesity console in here. That should be, oh yeah, 21. Come in and log into the Cohesity cluster. There we go. And now I can do a recovery of a file. Again, search XR18, find my one and only XR18 file, and say that I want to do a download now. It's that same recovery point. Download now. And what I should get is a file downloaded. There it is, that I can save as and pop back into the original location in that C data folder. Alright, then I can open that folder and I can then open that restored file. It's a manual of a rather nice digital mix that I have. So the restore into the virtual machine on Nutanix was not quite as smooth as the restore if we're using the vSphere hypervisor. The integration between Nutanix Acropolis hypervisor and the Cohesity data platform is not quite as tight as the integration with vSphere. However, we could still do data protection, we could still use the same protection policies that we had for our vSphere environment. It's just that at restore time it was whole virtual machines, wait till they recover, and download file inside the virtual machine as our two restore methods. So definitely support there for Cohesity and Nutanix together, and the Nutanix platform is pretty easy to set up protection for. Stay tuned for more videos, and we'll keep learning more about the Cohesity data platform together.